water procurement and filtration using PACE methodology. I'm freaking thirsty. All right, so today we are talking about water procurement and filtration using PACE methodology. So we like to introduce PACE in every one of our fire, water, shelter, food, all our different modalities in survival, whether it's going out for a day hike or spending a week in the woods. Going over PACE one more time, it's our primary plan, our alternate plan, our contingency plan, and our emergency plan. And this is something you could build in your kit for, again, your environment that you're working in. And that's really important, is that you think about the kit that you bring out has to fit the environment that you're working in. So everything from a day hike to that 7-day trip to a bug out or a search and rescue mission that you're going out that may go out for a day or two and turn out to be an overnight or 2 or 3 day thing. So today we're in the water filtration portion, we're going to talk about P for primary. So primary, and again, this is just a very basic explanation on how I've thought about this. Depending on the gear you carry and the environment, nothing here is the right way to do it. It's just one good way of doing it. So for my primary, it is the Grail. So the Grail filtration system is very simple. It is a self-contained water filtration system that you can carry just as a water bottle, and it filters out of all the systems the most efficiency when it comes down to bacteria, viruses, contaminants in your water. As we go on, you'll see that some of these have pluses and minuses. We're not going to get too deep into the actual what each of these filters, but we're talking about the methodology of how to have a PACE system in water filtration. So again, the Grail. This is a stainless. This is the titanium Grail, and this version is the original Grail GeoPress. They are identical, other than this is made of titanium and this is plastic. This can double as something that you can boil water in or cook food in at the same time. So we're combining kits, fire cooking kit with water filtration with the titanium Grail. This is nothing more than water poured in from a river, stream, pond. Best is if you have the option to filter the water either through a millbank bag that's hung above it, or even a shemagh that you can place some cotton, a cotton t-shirt. You can place this in here before we pour our water in to get the heavy particulates out. That saves your filters, which is always a plus. So going back to the use of these things, make sure that the cap is loose so we can vent air in it. And then at that point, it's just nothing more than pressing down and it's filtering it in all the water. Then you can drink right out of the top. Same with the titanium. Make sure the cap is loose. Like so. Just for talking points, a lot of folks have asked me whether or not using this titanium in the fire where it gets superheated, will it warp and mess up the O-ring that's on these filters? And so far so good. I haven't heard of anyone that has said that that's happened to them, nor myself. This one here, I haven't actually put it in a fire yet because it's brand new to me, but I have used it on top of a jet boil and a Trangia stove, and it's still working fine. So What's nice about this kit as well is this is my primary kit. So I put my lid down the bottom. I put this inside the millbank bag. And then I put my titanium spork inside the bag as well. And then this gets attached to my backpack. And I'm ready to go. Self-contained water filtration kit. Again, same thing with this. Extra cartridges are available. They last pretty long. I highly suggest with this is when you buy them, date them, and don't take them out of the package. Keep them sealed. It prolongs the life and expiration. Moving right along, another kit that could be used as your primary if you don't want to go with the Grail is a Sawyer squeeze system. So this is the Sawyer squeeze as it sits, the way it comes when you buy the kit. It comes with a bunch of other little adapters as well. And if you can see that I have modified mine where I have an orange cord with some tape so I can hang this. And then the bottom one has some khaki colored cord. This orange cord, I know that this is where the dirty water goes at all times. Even though I'll rinse it out once I get home, try to clean it up as best as possible, I'll try to reuse this particular bag as my dirty bag. And this would be my filtered water. And this is nothing more than filling it and hanging it. And then this will fill up. Now these are 1 liter bags. You can now do some modifications to your system and go out and get some off-brand bags. This one here is a 2 liter bag, and nothing more than unscrewing this one and screwing this one on. If you noticed that the threads are the same, it's because it's the same threads that are on a regular water bottle that you would buy at the store. So you could fill up a regular water bottle and then screw that on and filter it into another regular water bottle. So you don't have to use the pouches. But there's one way of doing it, right? Then, if you don't want to use this pouch, you could go right into your canteen, and you can find these online. Amazon, Self-Reliance Outfitters has them. They're 3D printed caps that allow you to screw the Sawyer on it. And now fill your dirty water bag and let it drip into your canteen. It has a vent, so it allows it to actually flow. And this is a really nice little setup. So if you don't go with the Grail, this gives you another option, especially if you use a old school stainless canteen, because you could also boil water in that. So now you're starting to see building the kit to be able to use it for other things. So we're still in primary here, right? Within the primary, there's other options. I would say primary would be the easiest thing for you to procure water and filter it immediately without lighting a fire, building a stove, or going through some other stuff that we'll talk about. These are the Hydro Packs. These are really popular right now. This is a 2 liter bag. You can fill these things up as is, just to carry water. You can filter into these. This particular one also has a filter, so you can fill it up with dirty water and then just drink right out of it. Okay, moving right along. Alternate. What's going to be our alternate is old school. The best, honestly, is build a fire and boil your water. So with that, along with my Grail, I always carry a 1 liter bottle, stainless, non-insulated bottle that I can gather water and boil it. This one has a nesting cup. You can use your Trangia, you can build a fire and put it in there and boil it. And that's, boiling your water is the safest, because now we're not worrying about a mechanical device that may or may not take any particular contaminants out. The only thing with boiling water or any of these devices is you can't take out heavy metals. Heavy metals are going to stay in the water regardless. Boiling water requires a heat source and then some way of getting your water on and off of the fire, especially if you're burying your container into a fire. So you can just grab a stick and make one of these yourself. It's so light enough that I built one that I keep with some Kevlar cord, so I don't have to worry about the heat burning it, and just the stick. And if you notice that the stick is slightly offset from the center, and that's so almost acts like a fish hook, that now I can take this out of the fire and place it back in, and then just by tilting it, it comes out. So it's very easy to take this in and out of the fire. So boiling water is definitely an option that you need to have, and that's my alternate. And only reason that's an alternate is because there's times where we don't have the time to build a fire or light a stove, weather dependent, and we just need filtered water. So primary, going back to the Grail, alternate is boil water. Contingency. So contingency can be something as simple as this little kit. Because it's so small, we can keep this packaged up into like a small flat 4x6 area. We can even get these packed into a Wazoo survival belt where all of this is contained inside of that. So now we have a third plan in case the other two options don't work. So what we have here is a Whirlpack bag, and these Whirlpack bags are 1 liter of water. I generally try to keep one for clean and one for dirty. And then we have options. So option 1 is 1 aqua tab per 1 liter. We also have the portable aqua tablets, right? So iodine tablets, that would work as well. But try to filter your water, right? So either through your shamag before you put it in the bag, or something as simple as a few coffee filters that you can place inside of your nesting cup, filter your water, get the heavy particulates out, then put it into your Whirlpack until you have enough in there, drop your tab in, good to go, right? These Whirlpack bags also have the ability to withstand a lot of heat. So I've seen a few videos up on YouTube that have been great where they show you how to fill these things up and then tie them off above a fire and actually let it boil in the bag. I don't like the idea of drinking water that's been boiled in plastic, but again, in a survival situation, I'd rather worry about contaminants of plastic later in my life than dying that sudden day. A couple other things you could add to this small little kit is some heavy duty industrial, there's heavy aluminum foil that you can wrap around the Whirlpack bag when you put it near the fire to protect it a little bit. Or you could, if it's really windy, you can build a little windscreen for your stove to keep your stove from getting blown out once we put this on the grill top. But it'll keep the wind from in the direction that it's traveling. So very easy, small little kit that this could be considered, hey, I'm going on a day hike and I need one little backup way of filtering water, and I don't want to carry a full backpack full of stuff, or even the Grail, right? So this could be your primary at some point if you already have 2 full bottles of water. You just need an extra way of filtering. I like to recommend to carry some sort of hydration packet, fruity flavored hydration packet, because when you're boiling water, and you're not using any sorts of charcoal, and we're using iodine tablets, the water tastes terrible. Just a little bit of this in your water, and it'll make it palatable enough that you'll continue drinking it. Okay, so we've gone through C, which is the Whirl Pack, and then we're going to take a little trip over here and talk about a organically made emergency way to filter water with just using garbage or junk that you found around your campsite. Right here we've got some paracord, 3 plastic bottles nested in a row. We've got some charcoal from our campsite fire. Optimally, I'd like to put some more in there. We've got some pretty fine beach sand. Optimally, again, we would like to put a little more than that inside there. And then a whole bunch of fine grass, clean green material that we find around camp. So we have a preliminary way of filtering. The second stage would be sand and then charcoal. Run some water through it first before you start to actually use it. I would say run a bunch of water through it if you can before you start to use it, to allow the fine debris from the charcoal to get out of the actual water that you were drinking. This takes a little while, but it's a very safe way of filtering your water. And there's a few videos on this right now that I've seen throughout the internet where they actually have some actual data that shows how clean the water can be through this system. And then again, if you're gathering the water at the end of this in a bottle, maybe in a stainless cup, you can end up putting this, on a branch where you don't have to worry about holding this there. You don't want to be holding this there. And eventually then boiling it. So now it's even triple safe. So this is a really good option. Obviously it takes a little time and you got to do a little hunting to find the materials, but it's an option to filter water if you have absolutely nothing at all. One option that I'd like to talk to you about is how we discuss the environment, and not necessarily all water procurement and filtration is going to be done in the wilderness. So if this is a part of your get home bag, your bug out bag, and you have your water bottle and you're not in an area where you need to filter water, you just need to procure water, is a Silcock key. I looked everywhere and it was supposed to be in my bag and it's not there. So we are going to insert a photo of this wherever John decides to put this photo in the actual video. But what a Silcock key does, it allows you to procure water in places that you're not supposed to procure water, such as a water fountain or a valve on the outside of a commercial or industrial building. You'll see that they have valves, but they have a special key that has to be used, and that key is a Silcock key. You can buy them on Amazon. They're relatively inexpensive, and they usually have several different types of key on the little cross key that you can buy. So take a look at one of those. I would definitely throw one of those in your bag, especially if it's your in around town urban water procurement bag.